Hey everyone, Ammo here taking a look at an early access game called Windscape. This game was built to me as a Legend of Zelda inspired adventure game. It's definitely an adventure game with some light crafting elements and lots of exploration. And I do get a Legend of Zelda feel from it. It's a lot of exploration, find dungeons, you slay monsters and solve puzzles in order to find the boss, and then you kill the boss. And there's a very light RPG mechanic in that you can craft slightly better weapons, you get new gadgets, and you increase your max health. The very slight RPG elements, but not true RPG. Again, very Legend of Zelda-esque. Let's start a new game. I can't show you too much of the game because it is very early access. It just came out, version 1 came out like a week ago. So very early access. I played about an hour and a half of it, and that took me through nearly all of it. So I'm only going to show you, just give you a general idea about what Windscape is about. I'm also going to be playing with mouse and keyboard. It feels like it's supposed to be played with a controller, but when I started playing this game, I just moved. I didn't have my controller in back, so I've been playing with my mouse and keyboard. It's been... It's been the... Here's the intro credits. The mouse is super... The sensitivity on the mouse is insanely low. It is ridiculous. This is the lowest sensitivity I think I've ever experienced in a video game on PC in my entire life. Ridiculous. Also, there's a good chance to point out, Dennis Witte? Or whatever language he wants to pronounce that name. He's, as far as I know, he's the only man. It's a one-man project. This is his game, entirely his project, which is super impressive, actually. Especially if this game, I feel like right now, what's there is maybe not super crazy fleshed out. It's a little more, kind of feels like a demo. It is early access, of course. Remember, nowhere close to a finished project. Of course, with early access, there's always the risk that it never comes out of early access, and it just dies. But if this comes anywhere close to its potential that I'm feeling, I think it'd be a really interesting adventure game. Goodness, the sensitivity. It's as high as it goes. And I'm like 1, 2, 3, 4 full swipes of my mouse to do a 360. That is painful. Let's try to ignore that. So here, we're a little girl named Ida. The artwork... It's very simple, very low textures everywhere. Kinda, cells doesn't look. It doesn't seem to actually be cel shaded, but the color palette kind of reminds me of that look and feel, and it gives me a lot of Wind Waker vibes because of the Legend of Zelda inspirations and the Legend of Zelda gameplay. Combined with this, really feels like Wind Waker color palette. What it makes me think of. Let's do our first couple quests. Talk to what I think is our father. The sound's kind of awkward because there's not a lot of sound effects and music, and the sound effect volume is way different. So hopefully that's just a recording concern, though. How can I help you, Papa? Well, just preparing dinner, going out to make yourself useful. Also, I ran into some couple of bugs. It is super early access. So if we see any of them, that's just part of super early access. Good morning, Captain. Hand. I need ingredients, get herbs. Where can I find them? Take a look in the garden.
This wheat.
Then this is where we learn about crafting, some primitive crafting and item gathering. That define meat, onions, and herbs. Go to the back. Let's open up this chest first. Get that intense chest opening feel. Here's our meat, is our inventory. You can see you get some resistance, like light RPG type stuff. You got adventure game. You got your health and your stamina, resistances, and then we'll find weapons. They have a variety of damage types. And you can also pick up magic and such. Here's where we start the gathering. The gathering can definitely be changed a little bit. You just have to sit there and wait. This is not an interactive. I hit the gather button and I wait for her to finish picking it up, which is needlessly time consuming, I feel. So if you can just do what most other games do and just pick it up, just onions, E. It's in my inventory. Don't make me sit here for a couple seconds to pick it up. But as a bit of a personal taste kind of a thing, but a lot of games, there's a reason a lot of games don't make you sit there and painstakingly pull the onions out of the ground. Let's see if we can find a purple herb. I forgot the purple herb looks like. Oh, it's literally right there. I'm done. It should be everything: onion stew, onion meat, purple herbs. Go back, talk to Mama. I found all the ingredients. Prepare it at the stove, why not try it out? Stove it up. And then some rudimentary crafting. Oh, that is loud, I apologize. Here it comes again. Heads up. Other than that, acts as a healing item. We're done, we're all cooked. I cooked this Speak with your father. He has another important job for you. This is where our adventure really starts. Try to... The music's fine, believe me. Music's fine. It hasn't stood out to me particularly well, but it's also not annoying or grating, and what music is there fits perfectly fine. Farm like this is a lot of help. Every pair of hands helpful. Dinner's ready. Get a horse on our way. You got nothing to do yet for an adventure. Deliver another package in Sky Harbor. Can you deliver for me? Definitely.
Why
on cities, wild animals, and he gives us a weapon. Here's our first weapon, the wooden club. Simple wooden club. Won't cause much harm. Is, yeah, you see the different damage types down there, so it's a little bit of blunt damage. And this is where our adventure really starts. He gets kicked out into the world. Got our sprint. All weapons, at least at this point, come with their own little shield. Video block helps with the combat. Up here is where we learn about save points. Birdman. I'm not going to speak to. You can speak to all the characters, of course, but as you would expect, most of them don't have anything important to say. Blueberries. I don't remember finding blueberries before. Berries, what do you do? Used for several meals. Alright, more crafting ingredients. I don't remember. I might have been dumb and missed blueberries. That might be new to the game. This is the last time I played. I haven't played for a few days. I don't think it got updated. It still says version 1. Here's the combat. The combat looks really rudimentary, and it kind of is, but it feels surprisingly good. I have a rhythm going with clicking. I can't get too close or the enemy will hit me. If I do get too close, I have a shield to block the damage. Let me finish them off. There's some rhythm, there's some back and forth going. You can also, not with this weapon, when you get stronger weapons, you can charge the attacks for different effects. You have different levels of charge to do different things. Take a different amount of time to charge up. So it is, ignore the typo there. Dennis may not, may be English second language, who knows. But, yeah, and I made the combat, despite it looks, like initially I was like, oh, this combat's super simple, but it's actually not bad. It feels pretty good. Maybe just spam click like that. Because he slows you down, he's, okay, fight with my shield. It's too loud, Mr. B. Oh, we can just spam click. Take care of these bees. That buzzing to end. You can use the honey for crafting, of course. Basic honey for bees. But when you swing, it slows you down, and you have to, you have some spacing concerns. Enemies get too close to you, they hit you, and if you're not close enough to hit the enemies, then you're just letting them damage you. So the combat is actually, right now, it still definitely feels in the early stages of, early access version 1, but it feels like we can get some interesting combat coming out of this. It's not exactly Dark Souls, but it feels at least, it was a little bit faster. I think that would help a lot. I like the deliberate, when you have to swing, block, charge up your abilities, space with your enemies. Having it deliberate is good, but deliberate and slow aren't necessarily the same thing. So they could be maybe tightened up a little bit, maybe a little bit faster. Would be ideal. And here's the forge. This is where we make our delivery. And where we do some more crafting, learn about more crafting.
Dress.
Or
very sharp.
Oh my gosh, stop talking, Marcus. You're speaking over me, Marcus.
Dress.
Okay, he needs new supplies. I clicked through that. He needs new supplies from another guy. You see, you don't necessarily get big rewards from the quests, but the quests are what drive the story along. It's not open world, but again, it feels like Legend of Zelda. There are places you're going to end up going if you need to progress. You can only progress so far without doing certain things, and then while exploring, you'll find those things to do, and you'll do those things, and you'll unlock areas to new islands. Yeah, part of the game, series of floating islands. That's the setup of the world, and that is what will progress you through through your adventure. It's not super linear, but it's not exactly the overworld either. At least so far, and my impressions, of course, remember, is super early after an hour and a half played, but I just felt like this game had some real potential, so I wanted to show it off to anyone that was interested in supporting or keeping a track of it, just following the game even. Here's some basic crafting recipes, making new weapons. Upgrading our wooden club to wooden club with fangs would be cool, but we don't have the fangs or the drywood. We didn't pick up any drywood on the way. Make a lot of stuff you need to forge. You need to forge up bars, which you get from copper ore, drywood, whatever. That part of the game has kind of a weird little RuneScape vibe to it, honestly. Kind of weird. I haven't thought about RuneScape for a long time. Just making some resurgences lately. I thought RuneScape was some dead game that, you know, some people played for nostalgia, or some people with very old computers who really like RuneScape just kept playing forever, but I have not been up here before. But it's been, what, RuneScape now has a card game, I just saw an idle, like, clicker game for RuneScape come out recently. Weird, RuneScape has had a weird resurgence in popularity. And I don't think there's anything over here. This is just us on top of a roof. Round? That's fun. Fun little exploration like this. Just like a show off some magic crafting. Craft some spells. That requires, well, it's actually requires mana stone, souls, firemon. It requires some ingredients I've not found yet. I mean, I haven't been in the game yet, honestly. Stove for more cooking, and then a variety of potions for a variety of resistances. Blunt damage, pierce damage, cut damage. I suppose that would help against difficult enemies or bosses and such. Go in the buildings, you can deal with the merchants, you can sell things. There's a merchant over here. Of course, as you can expect, you can sell and buy items. Buy a lumberjack axe and a pickaxe, so I can show you that crafting, and then we should be maybe go to the wolf cave outside town. And then you'll have a general idea of how the game goes. Because now the guy, Marcus, he gave us a quest to go find another dude. Because he needs a shipment of supplies for his business. His crafting is smithy. You try going around here. Try going through that gate. This guard will tell us that there's no one allowed through that gate right now. And it's actually low-key. The game doesn't tell you this for, you know, until you're done doing everything else, but that's the end of the game. That gate doesn't have anything past it. Head up over here. We have to run all the way back. There's no fast travel, as far as I know. It's not so far. I don't really want to fight you guys again, so I'm going to do the age-old tradition of running away. Also, the AI on the animals right now seems kind of weird. After they respawn the first time, they seem to know where you are and like a beeline to you to get within a certain range. Like you'll see them just coming straight for you. Really weird to see enemies from far away. Shouldn't know who you are, where you are. Like their friends next to them don't know where you are, but then they otherwise come right at you. That guy, who we should kill so I can show off the mining, the farming, and the woodcutting. There's more of the collection. Of course, you saw what you used copper ores for. Make copper bars, make swords, make weapons out of. Don't let those bees chase me anymore. Copper ore again. You don't. This is not interactive. You just sit here and wait for it to finish. Kind of wish that would change. That'd be a little bit faster. Yeah, I'm an impatient man. Maybe that's just that coming through. But this tree, okay, watch this cutting down this tree. This is the worst. How's it going, everyone? Having a good time? I'm not clicking to even swing the axe. It's just a countdown. Almost there. There we go. Tree's cut down. You see what I mean? That could be so much nicer and faster. It could be more interactive, or it could be faster. It needs to be one of the two. It needs to be more interactive, or it needs to be much faster. Because that is now just boring and not engaging, and makes me not want to gather resources to do crafting in this game. But easy change, easy fix. Dennis can easily change that. It's a game after all. It's early access version 1. More of the multi-unit combat. I have a better weapon. I'll show you some of the charge. Some implications of doing the charge attacks, but we don't have, you know, one of those weapons yet. And now we can just about wrap it up. Like I said, the gameplay, the actual amount of gameplay, not crazy. The world isn't crazy big right now. I can run over here. We try to come through this gate up here before going to that town. That guard there would have prevented us from doing so. But now that we've spoken with Marcus, Marcus sends word that's totally cool for us to come up here. So the gate opens. Oh, that's talking to that guy who would have prevented us from going up there. So you can see it's not an open world, but you don't have linear objectives per se. But you have to, you know, do things to progress the game in, you know, kind of logical fashion. This is a ton of spiders in this area. We have to be better about fighting and use our shield to for it. Just because they have a range attack, and there's a lot of them, and our weapon kind of is very good. There's a decent variety of enemies so far. You saw those bees, you saw the wolves. There are other wolves in the game. There are other bees. There's like this queen bee flying around somewhere. There are also, I think right over here, up here somewhere. There they are, kobolds. Hey, what's up? Or hobgoblins, or whatever you want to call them. Bandits, I believe the game describes them. I actually almost did. Get my butt kicked here. Holy cow. Back off. You don't do very much damage to the game, though. Gotta get our reach going. Gotta give that good sensation of reach. This game has gotta take advantage of it. If we get too close, we get hit and die. We can also just pop our meats too. That provides us some healing. Kinda forgot about, you know, that whole aspect of the game. Enemies drop money, they drop, like, so they can drop resources, drop health, drop little hearts. And then we would explore this area, we would find the guy Marcus's delivery to. He has a job for us to do, we do his job. We can find something else on the way, which someone else needs to talk to. We can find, there's specifically like a cave that has a dude's lost lunch basket or picnic basket or something ridiculous like that. We can find it and give it back to him, and I have never noticed these adorable little birds before. Come back here, little birds. What the heck? These... I thought these were like little dust sprites. I didn't realize they're supposed to be like tiny little cartoon birds. That is adorable. I did not notice that before. But yeah, you can find a cave as a guy who needs a cover. He has a lunchbox you can cover for him. And then the guy that you need the tools from, he gives you a quest to go to a dungeon. You go there, you have explore. There's a temple, there's some rocks over there, there's some implications of some kind that I wasn't entirely on. And of course, all of the resource gathering to improve your equipment while you go through. So the game right now, mind the sword. So the game right now, like I said, very early development. It is not, the actual amount of content isn't huge, but what is here feels very promising. Feels like there's some potential here. I'm interested. I'm a fan of Legend of Zelda, especially the era of Legend of Zelda games. This seems to be drawing a lot of inspiration from. I was a big fan of Wind Waker. It's not the most popular Legend of Zelda game. I guess maybe just the time when I played it, I really enjoyed it. Just the age I was, just had my rose-tinted goggles on. But I really liked Wind Waker. This reminds me a lot of Wind Waker and a lot of, not Majora's Mask. Majora's Mask is great, but Ocarina of Time. So having this adventure game like that, just going on a grand adventure as our little silent protagonist, I'm pretty interested in that. Especially having the dungeons with interesting bosses and the light puzzling and the enemies and the crafting and the magic and just everything to explore. So I'm very interested in seeing this game get fleshed out and having lots to explore. But that's it for Windscape. If you check it out on Steam, I think it's $13 on Steam. I just pulled up on Steam. It is currently on sale, 20% off, $13.59, otherwise $17. A bit of a steep price for what is currently offered, but of course you're buying into the full experience as it develops and supporting the development. So if you're interested in supporting the development, $17 on Steam. And if you aren't interested in buying in, well then, of course, maybe just follow the game and keep tabs on it until it might be developed enough for you to be interested in buying in. But I'm definitely interested in keeping an eye on it. So thanks for watching. Like the video, subscribe for more. Find Twitch, Twitter, let you guys know the deal. And I'll see you next time.